wrestling news for October 29th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include TNT gets heat after forcing AEW to change their plans on Dynamite, Vickie Guerrero to manage top AEW team in AAA, sad update on the condition of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, CM Punk unhappy after botched ending to Dynamite match, it's such an advanced technique, Kota Ibushi explains what caused G1 Climax injury, Bray Wyatt responds to fan who wants him to face Universal Champion Roman Reigns again, and more. We're kicking off today with AEW Dynamite, which this week saw the Elite dress as Ghostbusters for their match with the Dark Order. Just 4 days away from Halloween, it makes sense that everyone was dressed up on Wednesday, with the Elite even coming out to a remixed Ghostbusters theme, one that AEW's music producer Mikey Ruckus had to make at the last minute. That's because the decision to have the Elite dress as the Ghostbusters was a late call, according to Fightful Select, and the original plan would have seen a Squid Game-inspired entrance for the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, and Kenny Omega. These plans were nixed by Warner Media and/or TNT when they got wind of it, and it's believed that the TNT officials didn't understand how much of a parody the entrance planned to be. The report adds that there was heat on TNT by the roster for this initial plan being nixed, and AEW had to work quickly to get the Ghostbusters costume and entrance sorted. Adam Page, disguised as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, helped the Dark Order get the win, but we're curious what the original finish would have been had TNT not forced the change. More from AEW as FTR recently captured the AAA Tag Team titles on the October 16th edition of Dynamite, but that's not the only new acquisition for the former Revival. Winning the titles under the guise of Super Rana No. 1 and 2, the pair will be at AAA's November 4th tapings, but will be managed by Vickie Guerrero instead of Tully Blanchard, according to Dave Meltzer. It's fitting that Vickie will be coming to AAA, a company her late husband Eddie Guerrero wowed fans in as El Gringo Loco. After capturing the AAA tag titles from Rey Fenix and Penta on Dynamite, FTR has the chance to take the AEW World Tag Team titles at Full Gear on November 13th. But they'll have to get through next week's AAA tapings first, with Guerrero in their corner. Last week, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was hospitalized due to an emergency surgery, which went well and saw the Hall of Famer released just a few days later. Now we have an update on Duggan's condition as on Twitter, the legendary wrestler announced that he's dealing with prostate cancer. In a video from himself and his wife Deborah, Jim said he's known about the cancer for a few months now, and that he and his wife have been learning to live with it. Duggan added that he's scheduled to undergo cancer surgery this week and will be taking a break from social media, though his wife will keep fans updated on his condition. Duggan didn't say whether this diagnosis has anything to do with last week's hospitalization, but we're sending our best wishes to the Hall of Famer and his family at this time. WWE will be heading back to the UK for its second tour of the nation since bringing back live fans. The 8-night tour will see stops in Sheffield, Leeds, Manchester, and London, and the card for these shows now got even bigger. We previously reported that Walter was going to be on the upcoming tour, but he won't be the only NXT name on the shows, as NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker will also be there. We don't know for sure what Walter will be doing on the tour, but for the shows in Liverpool, Leeds, and Nottingham, Ciampa will be defending his NXT title against both Breaker and SmackDown superstar Sami Zayn. Since joining AEW at the First Dance Rampage, CM Punk has proved that he hasn't lost a step since his WWE walkout in 2014, but the former world champion's last match didn't go as he'd hoped. Kicking off Dynamite with an instant classic against Bobby Fish, Punk would ultimately win the match, extending his undefeated streak, but it seems the ending may have been botched. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about Punk's reaction at the end of the match, saying, "I just saw Punk's face. He did not react like he won. He had that face of, which I always hate when that happens, because if you win the match then you should be happy. His reaction was that it felt like that wasn't supposed to be the finish. That's the face he gave." Punk didn't look too happy to have won against Fish, despite having an absolute barn burner of a match to open up the show. With Punk not in the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, it remains to be seen what's next in store for the Chicago-made wrestler, who remains undefeated since joining AEW in August this year. New Japan news now, as the G1 Climax 31 finals saw Kazuchika Okada win the tournament, but only after the referee determined that Kota Ibushi could no longer compete. Their match came to an abrupt finish when Ibushi attempted a Phoenix Splash, only for Okada to roll out of the way, and Ibushi landed on his shoulder and was unable to stand. Speaking to Tokyo Sports about this injury, Ibushi described what exactly went wrong with the move he's done flawlessly in the past, as he explained, "Weight control. I've been losing and gaining weight up to this point. I was able to practice the Phoenix Splash, but there were too many fluctuations. 100 grams difference would make all the difference in the sensation. It's such an advanced technique. That's how advanced the technique is." Ibushi added that since facing Kenta on October 18th, he'd lost 3 kilograms all in one day, which was a factor in his Phoenix Splash on Okada going wrong. Now Ibushi has a long road to recovery after this terrible accident brought an end to the G1 Climax finals, as it goes to show that even trained professionals can't control everything that happens in the ring. This week, Ring of Honor announced that they'll be taking a hiatus after December's Final Battle event, as they plan to reimagine the show into a fan-orientated product that'll return next year. A lot has been reported about ROH in the past few days, and now one name from NXT has revealed his involvement with Ring of Honor. On Twitter, an account going by @Draconian said that NXT's own Joaquin Wilde designed the original ROH logo, which was confirmed by Wilde himself. In his response, Wilde said he was 15, used Paint Shop Pro 6 and the Dark Crystal font to create the company's first ever logo. Some fans questioned why the 2002 report says that a contest winner called Michael Paris designed the logo, but that's Wilde's real name. Wilde has a handful of ROH appearances to his name and boasts a 3-1 win record with the company, but he had a much greater influence on the company's early days, years before he'd entered the ROH ring himself. Wrestling fans are very tired of Charlotte Flair receiving too many title shots than other deserving competitors. In spite of all the outrage, WWE is set on pushing Flair to the moon, and that is unlikely to stop anytime soon. It seems Flair has heat on her for an interesting reason. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was said that one of the main reasons Charlotte Flair has heat on her has to do with her in-ring style. The issue is that she is a heel but uses babyface moves, which makes it harder for her opponents to get over. There has been unhappiness for a long time between Flair and many, if not most, of the women wrestlers on the roster for little things and some things that have to do with match structure. One of the complaints is that Flair wants to be a heel, but does babyface moves during matches, notably the dives or moonsaults in and out of the ring. It was also said that Flair's inner circle is pushing for her to get out of her WWE contract. Despite that, Charlotte Flair has years left in her current WWE contract. It remains to be seen what will become of Charlotte Flair in the coming weeks, as it's highly unlikely she'll be going to AEW anytime soon. Goldberg news next, as he's spoken about his WWE future and revealed how many matches he has left on his current contract with the company. Goldberg spoke with Ring Rules while in the Kingdom for Crown Jewel earlier this month and revealed that he has just one match left on his contract. This comes off the back of his win against Bobby Lashley in a Falls Count Anywhere match at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia last Thursday. "I still feel as though I can wrestle. I still feel as though I can wrestle. I still feel as though I can entertain," Goldberg said of his WWE future. "After this match, I have one more match on my contract and that's it. We'll see what happens. You never know." Goldberg, who turns 55 at the end of December, also commented on the possibility of teaming with his son Gage to take on Dominic and Rey Mysterio. "Oh, you never know. You never know what the next day brings," he said. "So if people want that, we'll see if we can give them what they want. You never know." There is no word on when WWE plans to bring Goldberg back for that last contracted match, but we will keep you updated. And we're ending today with Windham, aka the former Bray Wyatt, whose non-compete clause with WWE ends today. The former Universal Champion is now able to negotiate and sign with whoever he wants, but for some fans, they're hoping to see Bray Wyatt back in WWE. On Twitter, one fan asked Windham to return to WWE and challenge Universal Champion Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, an idea the former superstar wasn't a fan of. Responding, Windham shared a GIF from the 2004 movie Troy, in which Brad Pitt's character Achilles poses the question, "Is there no one else?" Even if Wyatt was to return, we already know that the Tribal Chief will be busy at Survivor Series, as he'll face the WWE Champion on the show. But even if a Wyatt-Reigns match was possible, Windham is more than ready to take on someone other than the head of the table. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.